What's up, guys? This is Killer Mass right here, and I've come to bring you Dynasty Warriors and the Koei franchise. Now, this is another rant time video right here, but yeah, I want to talk about this franchise as a whole, and then also bring in some of the popular games. Um, this is number 7. I actually don't have the updated 7 Extreme Legends, so I'm just gonna use this to entertain you guys. But the whole point of this video is to show you, or to talk about, the flaws I'm starting to see in this koei games and all that. First off, koei games is built on hack and slash games, hack and slash of the Chinese history, of the Chinese, what do you call it, basically a Chinese history between 100 something AD to like 260, basically like revolution that happened in China. And so it's built on hack and slash, and that's all it's been built on. So when we talk about this game, we had to talk from a hack and slash point of view because they've never changed anything else. Now, talking about flaws I've seen from this game, splitting from the first one that I ever played, number 3, to number 7, I played all of them in between, and I want to say that Dynasty Warriors is a hack and slash game that's been moving. It's been what's the word I'm looking for? It's been moving in the direction of basically like a one-man army type feel. If you play the third one, your generals, all that participate, you can actually be a general on the battlefield and have your own troops and all that. In number 4, you can actually monitor your own generals. It was really cool. But then after that, it's just like, I think they listen to the advice of people too much, because I've read those koei comments when they have like those chat menus, and all those chat menus talk about how they want the game orientated around them and not the people around them. People were talking about how they wanted to basically be part of all like the traps and stunts, actually be part of the main course of the main course of the battle. But I feel like they've taken that advice too far, because I do like that idea. I don't like what they've done here. Ever since, I think it's number 6 or number 7 it starts, generals become really, really, really dumb. They do like the crazy. They don't do anything. They either don't do anything or they fall for every trap on the enemy side. Now, if it's historically, because they have an encyclopedia with the game, if it's historically accurate and that's what happens, then I can see what you're doing. But if you're doing this every time, I don't see the point in that. I think that's the dumbest thing I've ever. I think that's like dumb. I mean, where's the logic in that? What are you doing? But yeah, and either that or they're doing nothing at all, and you basically are the entire army, for the entire thing. Now, it used to be, well, if you killed one, it used to be in the old games, if you killed 1,000 people, man, you were all over the battlefield. You were like a devastating force. And here, in like the first 5 minutes, if you don't kill 1,000 people, you're like lost. You're not doing anything. And I'm not saying that's bad. That's easy for if you like hacking and slashing multiple times. But it doesn't go anywhere. I mean, you're not really gaining anything from that. Another thing I want to say is that this game is getting too. This game literally, talking about Dynasty Warriors 7, from number 3 to number 7. Number 3, your combos were special and unique. Your combos were like necessary to win. They were like the coolest moves, and they were just essential for victory. In here, even on like Chaos, the hardest battle difficulty, if you could try, all you could do is push square the entire time, and you could still win. Now, I'm not saying you should do that and make the game boring, but I mean, with that kind of like mindset in the back of your mind, it doesn't make the game any more entertaining. It doesn't make it fun to play and watch or anything like that. But what I'm trying to go here is that koei games is built on hack and slash, and I think they made it too fantasy-like. Now, I'm not saying don't stop. I'm not saying stop, but I'm saying that if you're gonna go in that route, you should at least make it more, I want to say more combos for every character. Also, like, more orientated with what weapons can do what, and what weapons can do what, and move on from there. Because I think the characters and their weapons are so one-dimensional. Now I'm taking like 5 minutes to do one point. Wow, okay, so next point is the story. Number 3, it had like I think it had 42 characters, something like that. It had, every character had its own story. Even though it wasn't in a cutscene, you kind of felt, you could imagine what it felt like from his perspective. And after that, it's like number 4 had like, it's set like you pick out of 3 battles what to do, and the third one was always the main battle. So you could skip all the side battles and do the main battle. But if you did the side battles, you got benefits and all that. I'm not saying it's bad, but they're kind of going away from the individualness of the characters, and I think that's what people really want, is individualness of the characters, not just individualness of you fighting, but individualness of you and the character being incorporated on the battlefield. Because if you really look at it, I mean, no matter what character you are, every battle is the same thing. You have the same role in every battle, unless it's like conquest mode, which is like free mode basically. But even in free mode, most battles you have the same exact role, no matter what character you are. And I think they need to just like move it around, you know, switch it up. Like, okay, if you're the head commander, you start in the back. If you're like a certain character that, like, you know, starts a flood attack or something, that's your goal, to start the flood attack. I think they need to incorporate that in the battle to make it fun and interesting. And I think those are points that Koei needs to take and listen to. My third point is that we all, like I said many times, Koei is built on hack and slash. Dynasty Warriors is becoming more fantasized, and I think that number 7 has gone far enough that the characters are just, I don't know how do I want to say this. The characters are distinguished between who's good and who's really, really bad, like you would never ever use. Back when I played number 3 and number 4, every character had a cool set of moves. So even if you didn't really like to play with that character, it was livable. Like, you would actually enjoy playing with that character because there was so many options of things to do. But in number 7 and all that, either your character does all these cool, you know, shooting lightning bolts and all that, oh, it's so amazing, and flying sword, and then there's like these characters that like tap the person in the head over and over and maybe do like these weird, like jumping on top of him moves and all that. And then that's like super boring, and there's like there is no kind of splitting around and kind of incorporating the moves of different characters into fights. And that's another thing I want to see added into these hack and slash series, not just from Dynasty Warriors, but from Orochi and all the other stuff. People have been commenting on this, and not commenting, but messaging me, and they've asked that to talk about actual expansion of the Koei system, the Koei games. Now, Koei itself is expanding into the PS Vita, and so this is why I chose to present it now, because I wanted to wait till the Vita came out. Or this is why I actually started making it now, because I always make live commentaries, but this is why I wanted to wait until the Vita came out, so I can actually talk about, if Dynasty Warriors Next were to come out, how they've expanded themselves now into multiple platforms. And people who messaged me want to talk about how Koei game is going to expand structurally to the next game. Now, if you play Dynasty Warriors Next, I don't have the PS Vita, so I don't really know, but from videos that I've watched, it's kind of unique, kind of something new. I kind of like the concept they're trying to go with, but I think that quite frankly, that if Koei Games wants to evolve in their game texture, I really think they need to do 3 things. One is kind of incorporate every individual character on the actual battle into the battle, basically, and give them meaning in there. Now, if you're like some side character, like if we do free mode and you're like some person from another nation playing, yeah, that's okay. Then you leave them in the outskirts, you do whatever you want. That makes sense. But if you're not, then It's just, I don't want you to be the one-man army basically doing all the work. Second thing I talked about was, just incorporating all my points basically and trying that out. I mean, if you agree with me, like, subscribe, talk about it, because I really feel that this is what Koei Games should do, and Dynasty Wars as the franchise itself should expand on this idea of individual characters, individual weaponry and combos, etc., and just make everybody unique in some way with something cool of their own, and not just basically useless things, I mean, if even if you incorporate the game to have useless characters, but they're only useful in 2-player, then yeah. So yeah, like, subscribe, and that's basically all I have to say about the Koei franchise. See you guys.